This is the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric, on your exclusive home for Pitt State football, 860 AM KKOW.
There's a snap, turn, right side, Wilson, cut back, first down up the middle at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Royston Wilson, he hurdled a defender into the end zone for 6 points.
The Coach Beck Show is brought to you by CDL Electric, Foley Automotive, KSN Television, Via Christi Hospital, and Watco Companies. Now, let's go live to Chatters with the voice of the Gorillas, Eddie Lomshek.
And good Monday evening, Pitt State football fans. Eddie Lomshek indeed, live at Chatters Restaurant and Bar with Pitt State head football coach Tim Beck, and probably an anxious Gorilla Nation wanting to know what the future holds, I guess. But obviously a tough weekend. 63-14 homecoming loss to Missouri Western, and I was asked twice this weekend. I was asked a lot of things, but twice I was blown away when somebody said, "Did you see this coming?" No, I didn't, and I don't think anybody did. I hope nobody did that was on our side. Now, I don't think Missouri Western did either. It's been obviously a weekend of disbelief for a lot of people. There are bigger things in the world, but in terms of our interest, it's right up there, and so a tough weekend. And so, Coach, it's I'll have to ask you a lot of things tonight, I guess, but bottom line is it's not at all where you want to be, and I'm sure after the game that your players and coaches probably in just as much disbelief as everybody else.
I thought we were going to talk about Truman State.
Oh, we will. we will.
Well, yeah, we'll get to them, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like a bad dream, I guess. You know, when we go down and score the opening drive, it's amazing. After going back and watching the video several different times, you see their body language. It's almost like they're not running to the ball as hard and doing some things, and it's almost like, you know, there's a chance that we could get after these guys today after you watch it a little bit on video. But you get the opening drive, go down, score, and then they answer and then never look back. And there was a point in the first half where it kind of started to get away from us, but it was 28-7. And just felt like if we could get to halftime at 28-7, that we would be okay. That we could come back in the second half. We'll get the ball first in the second half, and we've done it before, been able to do it before. If we could just get them in there and talk to them and settle them down a little bit, but it didn't stay at 28, and it gets to 42, and then then the feelings are a lot different at halftime.
What a setting. You know, beautiful weather, school record crowd, homecoming. It was a beautiful morning for the parade, all of that. So I guess adding insult to injury, but man, what an atmosphere Saturday.
It was beautiful. It was everything you could ask for as far as the fan turnout and the homecoming crowd, and it was everything that you could ask for. The only thing that you couldn't ask for is the beating that we took on Saturday.
As a coach, then, you know, and we'll get into divulging the game and talk about X's and O's a little bit, but how much now and after that game and yesterday and last night with your players do you play psychologist a little bit?
Well, there's a lot of things that need to be talked about, but as a coaching staff, when something like this happens, you know everybody's in the tank for a while, but we go back and look at every little thing we're doing and making sure that we're doing all the right things. And Solomon said last night on the TV show, everything will be okay as long as we get our passion back. And at times we don't play as passionate as we need to. But the amazing thing about it is it's just 5 quarters ago we were still ahead and still undefeated, and now we're five quarters later we're scratching our head wondering what's happened and how it happened so fast. But there's a lot of questions to be answered, obviously, and they asked me after the game, are there going to be some changes? And yeah, probably. We probably need to make a couple of changes here and there. And we're thin at some positions because of some injuries and those type of things. But, that's football. And you've got to be able to handle them and deal with them and move to the next guy and go on. And we haven't handled a couple situations very good.
And in athletics, one of the great lessons, of course, learned is how to deal with adversity. And not in the top 10 of the region that came out today. You have a lot of kids that helped you win a national title last year. And I know they had, to me, pretty legitimate high hopes for this season. And now all of a sudden some of that seems pulled away from you. What do you tell your kids about making sure that this stretch of 5.5 quarters doesn't determine what kind of season you can have.
Well, and that's right. And once it's over, you just got to move on. We got to put this one back away from us and put it behind us and move on to the next game and get ready for Truman. But it's not easy. It was not easy going to practice last Tuesday after the Arrowhead lost. And we talked and talked and talked, but the kids still were, just amazed that we lost like we did at Arrowhead. Well, you can't let it linger. We tried not to, but I think it did a little bit on Tuesday, which may have affected us a little bit this weekend. And it's not that we came out flat. We came out and took the opening drive down and scored. So it's not that we were out, flat coming out. It's just that once we get down a little bit right now, we haven't handled it very well. And for whatever reason, I don't know, because last year's team was completely opposite.
Yeah, the way the game started would indicate certain things. And we've talked a little bit about you want to be a team that practice like you play, and that can carry over. I didn't see you last Thursday. You were sick and away from the media stuff. But how'd you feel with last week's practices overall going into Saturday?
Like I said, it got off to a little slow start on Tuesday, but Wednesday was fine, and coaches felt like Thursday was A-okay, and so we were on track. Seemed a little bit flat during pregame, but that happens, and like coaches will say, you can't figure out your players on how hyped up they are, amped up they are right before the game, how well that's going to, how well they're going to play by that. That's just not a good indicator. Because sometimes they'll be really excited and play bad, and sometimes they'll be flat and play really good. So you just don't know. But, for the most part, we got a lot of work done last week. Actually, went 2 extra periods to spend a little extra time on a couple special teams on Tuesday than we normally do, and felt like things went okay.
Well, it was unfortunately not the kind of day you would like. It didn't start that way, and we'll get into that and much, much more eventually. Time for our first break. We'll be back with the Coach Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric, after this.
Are there spaces in your home or business that you just can't keep cool? They're called hotspots. And while there are cheap solutions, they usually become a bigger problem. Introducing Mr. Slim ductless air conditioners and heat pumps from Mitsubishi Electric HVAC. Mr. Slim installs discreetly in just a few hours. It's quiet, built to last, and affordable. Mr. Slim ductless air conditioners and heat pumps available at CDL Heating and Cooling in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Nevada. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Gorilla fans, for the best Pittsburgh State football coverage, tune in to KSN 16, your hometown sports. I'm Eric Kinnett. We'll have those highlights after every Pitt State game, and during the week, we'll have the latest news and preview the next opponent. And don't forget about the Tim Beck television show every Sunday night on KSN after the evening news. So if you love Pitt State football, check us out. KSN 16, your hometown sports with Eric Kinnett.
Here's the snap. Chevy runs deep. And the pass. Holy moly. Chevy Silverado with a big catch.
Chevy Cruz blocking the competition. And look at Silverado go.
Chevy outperforming everyone.
Chevy at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Moley Automotive.
Moley Chevrolet GMC of Pittsburgh wins the game. And all fans get up to $8,000 off all remaining 2012s in stock.
Moley Chevy GMC of Pittsburgh, your 4-state Chevy Buick GMC dealer. Proud supporter of Pitt State Gorilla football.
Moley Automotive. Best price always.
In 1983, Dick Webb started a contract switching business at the kitchen table of his Pittsburgh home. It took one man with vision and determination who thought he could to launch an international company that is proud to call Southeast Kansas home. This vision and determination is practiced every day by the 3,000-plus team members that serve our customers and follow Watco's Customer First Foundation principles to improve customer satisfaction, improve profitability, and do all for the long term in a safe manner. Watco supports Pittsburgh community athletics and wishes the Pitt State Gorillas the best of luck.
Because your life matters, Via Christi Heart Center in Pittsburgh has made major investments to install the latest heart imaging technology, which can mean faster diagnosis and more effective treatment for a variety of heart-related conditions. Because we understand that when we're taking care of your heart, nothing is more important. Via Christi Heart Center, because your life matters.
Western a 4-2 look here. The snap. Abinoa will throw it. Back shoulder throw. Brown. Cut. Touchdown. Gorillas. A stop route. Anthony Abinoa to John Brown. 6 yards on 3rd and goal. And Pitt State draws
draw first blood. 860 AM, KKOW.
Welcome back to Chatter's Restaurant and Bar and the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Eddie Lomshek along with the Gorillas head coach. And indeed, Pitt State did draw first blood. It was a warmer day. During the week, it was pretty cool. And then, of course, that morning was cool, but we knew it was going to warm up, and the south wind was blowing. So you won that toss and made them go into the wind, and that paid dividends for you right away.
Yeah, they got a big gain on first down, ran a little zone stretch read play, and he takes it out the back end and gets a good gain. But then we, I think, 3 and out them after that. So I think they had a 4-play drive probably of their first series, and you know exactly what we wanted. We got them to punt the ball, and their punt team was a little bit scary because of all the different formations and stuff they had lined up in, and plus they faked one on their own 14-yard line the week before. So we did a couple different things on our punt team, but really tried to spend more time holding people up and get John return. But that first one was not returnable. But yeah, we got him to punt it. So
pinned at your own 13-yard line, but the wind at your back, and you come out throwing a little bit. You know, some bubble screens and that, and some safe things. Talk about that approach to use that almost as an extension of your running game.
Well, the very first play of the game was a little screen into the boundary to John, and boy, you go back and watch it on video, it ends up being a 6-yard gain or 6 or 7-yard gain, something like that. But yeah, Ollie Venegas he gets pinned inside, and we step him down and hoping that the end will go around him, and the end squeezed him instead. And if he gets out and gets the corner knocked, it might be a touchdown. It's just that close. It's really close, going a long way. But John has to break it back inside and picks up a good gain for first down. But, you know, wanted to come out, and there's some things that we felt like we could take advantage of. And, you know, like I said, they looked a little bit flat to me defensively early on. And there's a couple plays where you can see some people not really running hard to the ball and stuff. And I felt like after you know, us doing what we did that first drive, okay, now we can come back and you know, catch them off balance a little bit with some run and some pass and really get some things going here. But opening drive was very good, very well executed, but that's about as many good things we got to talk about.
Well, it was, you know, a couple third down conversions and only 2 of 7 in the first half, and so that was important, the short passing game. And then the touchdown play we just heard, you get yourself to 3rd and goal and weren't able to establish a run down there, but just a great stop route in that back shoulder and there intentionally. And John, great catch with his hands, it looked like, behind his body.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, it's very, very hard to defend. And it's not the easiest to throw because of the timing of it. But, you know, on first down, we ran a little smash play, and Brady Letchworth gets hit pretty hard, and we end up getting maybe 1 yard. And so then second down, we ran a little sprint out with a rub play, and we got pressure off the edge and was forced to throw it early. And then we come back with a fade on third down, and like I said, that's you know, he's very good. We've got several guys that are good fade runners that we can throw the fade to, but he's very good at doing it. But sometimes we're by the alignment of the defensive back, and if he's in his hip pretty good, then Anthony does throw that fairly well, and he threw it right in a good spot where John could come back to it, and it's really hard to defend.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned that fade, that they'll go up and fade out, and you throw kind of a jump ball there. But with John, it seems like when he goes hard off the line or on certain returns, and we'll talk about his punt return later, but every little move he makes, you can see the defense just freeze because it seems like they have to respect every little move.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because, you know, the other thing that the corner's got to defend down there is the slant. You know, he could run the slant on you, and so that's a score faster than a fade, you know, and so they've got to take the inside away. That's the bottom line. They have to take the inside away. So most times you'll see John, he spends a little bit of time on the line of scrimmage, and it's amazing how fast he moves his feet on the line of scrimmage to get a decent release. But once he gets a good release, then it gives him a chance to you know, be effective on the fade.
11 plays, 87 yards, almost 4.5 minutes off the clock. It was very methodical, very good. Unfortunately, after a touchback, Western comes back, and after one first down, a first of too many big pass plays for them, 48 yards, a little wheel route to the back, and those first couple really off hard play action. They show that zone run, and Hill is so good What happened there as he leaked up the sideline?
Yeah, just have a safety getting caught with his eyes back in the backfield, and then next thing you know, the guy's past him, and he can run a little bit, and we got a safety trying to cover him, and just in bad position and get a couple steps behind, and it was a really nice play action, and we didn't get any pressure on the quarterback. Next thing you know, he throws it over the top for a touchdown.
And that was a theme. There were times from upstairs you could really see that pocket develop for them. And even though he had a couple sacks, he shook off a couple. But how'd you feel with your pass rush?
Not good enough, not near good enough. And again, they only threw it 14 times. There was 8 or 9 of 14, but we didn't get enough pressure on him, and that's part of the problem. But that's the tough thing. And defensively these days, you're not going to hold people down completely. It just doesn't happen very much anymore. But we talk about this all the time. A play or two like that early on, if you can make a stop here or there, if we have an opportunity maybe to make a stop there, and then have a chance to go down there, you can get up 14-0, then it maybe changes everything completely for the rest of the day. Sure. But it didn't happen, and so they made a big play and it got them right back in it. They felt great, and then so now it's time for our offense to come out and respond, and we didn't.
Well, you moved the ball, and then you ended up having to settle for the missed field goal. And starting with that drive, there became a series of possessions that there were some solid first down plays. And then talk about 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, the decision, I guess, to throw the football, because if you don't get it, then you are in an obvious passing situation.
Yeah, and again, we're just trying to do some things, keep them off balance. We're not as confident in the run game right now, or we wouldn't, throw it on 2nd and 4 sometimes. And at times, we've just got to bear down. And there are times once you cross the 50 where we're in 4-down territory where we do need to run it in second medium situations especially. But, just trying to do what we feel like we can do the best right now, and maybe don't have enough confidence in something, and maybe we got to work at it and find a way to get more confidence in it.
Well, that's the next question, I guess, is the commitment to the run game. People talk about, you can use a passing game as an extension, but there are times you need to run it during the, between the tackles and that. Is it a matter of during the week, make sure you're emphasizing to maybe instill a physical mindset in your O-linemen?
Oh, yeah, and, we spend, Tuesday's a physical day for us, and it's a day we always spend 10 minutes on inside runs, and it's a physical day. It's something that the work team kind of dreads probably. We get after each other pretty good at that time and spend a lot of time doing it. And that's been the same thing that we've done forever. We spend that time on Tuesdays getting after it, being aggressive, but it hasn't translated over to the field yet.
We'll step aside, take another break with Coach Beck. It was 7-all on that missed field goal by Pitt State after a high snap, and boy, from there it got worse in a hurry, especially in the second quarter, so a lot still to talk about. We'll return to Chatters and the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL after this.
Digging deeper to make ends meet? Now you can get a 30% tax credit with a geothermal heat pump system from Climate Master. Climate Master geothermal systems tap the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. Plus, Climate Master systems are incredibly efficient. If you're interested in saving up to 80% on your energy cost, call CDL Heating and Cooling for a free estimate in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Nevada. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Gorilla fans, for the best Pittsburgh State football coverage, tune in to KSN 16, your hometown sports. I'm Eric Kinnett. We'll have those highlights after every Pitt State game, and during the week, we'll have the latest news and preview the next opponent. And don't forget about the Tim Beck television show every Sunday night on KSN after the evening news. So if you love Pitt State football, check us out. KSN 16, your hometown sports with Eric Kinnett.
Here's the snap. Chevy runs deep. And the pass. Holy moly. Chevy Silverado with a big catch.
Chevy Cruz blocking the competition. And look at Silverado go.
Chevy outperforming everyone.
Chevy at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Moley Automotive.
Moley Chevrolet GMC of Pittsburgh wins the game. And all fans get up to $8,000 off all remaining 2012s in stock.
Moley Chevy GMC of Pittsburgh, your four-state Chevy Buick GMC dealer. Proud supporter of Pitt State Gorilla football.
Moley Automotive. Best price always. days.
In 1983, Dick Webb started a contract switching business at the kitchen table of his Pittsburgh home. It took one man with vision and determination who thought he could to launch an international company that is proud to call Southeast Kansas home. This vision and determination is practiced every day by the 3,000-plus team members that serve our customers and follow Watco's Customer First Foundation principles to improve customer satisfaction, improve profitability, and do all for the long term in a safe manner. Watco supports Pittsburgh Community Athletics and wishes the Pitt State Gorillas the best of luck.
Because your life matters, Via Christi Cancer Center in Pittsburgh is equipped with the latest treatments and the expertise needed to accurately treat all types of cancer. We realize that when we're treating cancer,
we are really treating people
who, more than anything else, want to receive the care they need while staying close to home. Via Christi Cancer Center, because your life matters.
Groner will roll right, a driving, spiraling kick away from Brown. John will backtrack, catch it at his own 7-yard line. Makes one man miss at the 10, now runs it laterally at the 15. Got a couple of blockers near side at the 20. Brown at the 30, out of bounds at the 35. No, on his feet at the 40, at midfield. The electric John Brown to the Western 48-yard line.
860 AM, KKOW.
Welcome back to the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Eddie Lomshek and Coach Beck live at Chatter's Restaurant and Bar in Pittsburgh. We'll give away a gift certificate here, $25 to Fat Daddy's down at 2nd and Pine. Dine-in only, includes drinks, expires at the end of your calendar year. What's that say, Coach? Kristen O'Keefe, come on down. So there we go. Show up and you win a prize. How about that? So pretty excited about it, too. If I did that, I'd pull a muscle. Haven't extended like that in years. You don't want me to. So, all right. Well, at that point, you missed field goal, and I wanted to get to that before the break there. But you've been good. Your long snap, short snap's been good. It just sailed there on Aaron.
Yeah, just a high snap by Aaron, and like I said, it's been good all year, and it was just up there a little bit. And I felt really good about getting the field goal at the time. Connor looked good in pregame, and he was swinging it pretty good all week. And you just a little bit of high snap, which then throws your timing off, and then he just doesn't get enough on it.
Yeah, the wind at his back, even from 46, distance was not going to be a problem. You clearly see him stop, try and restart, and then it's not the same approach. That said, how good's Luke Rampy been as a holder for you for a couple of years?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Even yet that one right there, just getting it down was impressive. He's really headsy and has great hands, and he has a great knack of getting it to the exact spot where it needs to be every time, and that's something you always just take for granted, but there's a little bit of a knack to it.
Well, Western gets it, and then from there they score. It was a 64-yard pass. They fake a dive, they fake an end around, and a slot receiver gets loose, and very slow developing play. It's a 3rd and 2. You have to respect their run game on short yardage. So, again, I'm going to guess some guys on the back end got caught looking.
Yep, exactly right. Just safety gets caught looking, and the next thing you know, he's behind us, and throw the long ball for 64 yards.
64, yeah.
64 yards for a touchdown, and we had somebody take a shot at him late, but it was too little, too late.
Well, at that point, they've scored twice in 7 plays and 140 yards in their 2 drives, and not even 3 minutes time of possession. So those happen in a hurry. It's 14-7, and you're okay. You end up punting. They end up punting. How about that return by John Brown?
Once again, I'll say this. Most people would never even caught the ball. From where he aligned to where it was punted, how far away from him it was punted. Most people would have never, ever got it. But he makes, covers a lot of ground to get over there and get it, and then freezes the first guy and gets past him, and then here we go. And that's the only problem is it's really hard to set up any kind of return on, because you never know where he's going to go. He's all over the field. So basically, we run a lot of mug, what we call mug, which means we're going to mug the guy on the line of scrimmage. Our return guys are, and they're going to try to get as much of them as they can and get square on them and be physical with them and hit them to try to buy as much time as we can for him. But there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, because if you mug the wrong way or mug the wrong direction, you'll lose the guy right now at the line of scrimmage. Missouri Western or Missouri Southern was mugging the wrong direction against Western the week before, and they faked one for a long touchdown. So you have to be careful on, whether you go outside leverage, inside leverage, head up, or whatever. So there's a lot that goes into it. But, yeah, it was a fantastic return and gave us great field position.
How close was he going out of bounds on your sideline?
Yeah, I think he maybe went out a little about 3 or 4 yards or 5 yards before they spotted it, but it happened so fast nobody could see it,
Just amazing. The other thing about that is people are kicking it away from him. That guy that punts for Western is good. He's an Australian kid, and that roll-out rugby-style punt, you guys did that years ago some, but yet the ball's in the middle of the field. John is still there. What do you tell him about cheating over, knowing they're probably going to kick it that way, but don't tip your hand too early? What do you tell them?
Yeah, exactly right. We try to bait them into kicking it where we think they're going to go, and so most punters. There's some punters that are really good directional punters, so you have to be able to cover the field, and Northwest was really good at keeping theirs into the boundary, but a guy like that you've scouted out on video, he's either going to kick it down the field or hard to his right. And as much room as he had there, you had an idea that it was going to go hard right. But you can't just line up too far to the left, or then it'll be too far to your right and you won't be able to get to it. So
it was a great catch by John, running over the shoulder, and then he uses the field to his advantage. 14-7 at that point. There you are in their territory. I mean, how painful was that? And there was another one later, a return by Cushion. Boy, field position, when you were still in touch, boy, those are costly to come back and not cash in there.
Yeah, absolutely, because we get a great punt return by John and an absolute awesome kick return by Marquise Cushion that put us in great field position, brought us right out to midfield where we had a great opportunity to do something, and we didn't do anything with them.
The possession after John's return is where the ball gets broken up at the line. Bass, an outstanding DN for them, plucks it out of the air, and Anthony gets tangled up trying to get him, and it's returned 50-plus for a touchdown. What happened on that play?
Just they timed it right and got their hands up, and there's things we've got to do as an offensive line to get their hands down too. There's a couple of different things you can do, and sometimes when you're throwing short stuff, 90s, your short routes, you'll actually cut the defensive lineman to get their hands down. Sometimes that's not as effective because if they see it coming, they can still get their hands up. But the bottom line is you got to get into their body really good and be aggressive into it, and that will help keep their hands down. But both their defensive ends are seniors, are really good players. They've been doing it for a long time, and Bass has got a lot of sacks over the last 2 years, but they're also good at getting their hands up, and that's exactly what they did.
4 senior D linemen, 5 senior O linemen. That's a very veteran Western team, and they played like it in that situation. On those plays, those short passes, you're throwing lateral or you're throwing the slant. What are you telling your quarterback to be careful, to make sure you're not telegraphing too early?
Well, on the really short stuff, it's grip it and rip it. You're going to catch it and throw it. So a lot of times it happens so fast the defensive linemen really can't get their hands up. And then some of the, 5-step drop stuff that we do, then there's usually some windows that open up. And, Anthony's got to stand tall and throw over the top. And there's, the other pick that he threw where it got tipped, he's not standing up high, tall enough and throwing it over the top like he needs to.
And then, those plays as well, that some of those tip balls became a theme, and credit to them a little bit. Did you see them doing anything different? Did they widen their ends or outside backers or anything to start getting their hands on some of those?
No, nothing different. The same thing they've always done, and they've knocked a lot down throughout the season. It's just, like I said, we got to take care of it up front and be aggressive and try to keep their hands down and then, do a better job of getting rid of the ball quicker.
All of a sudden, they've scored 21 in a span of less than 8 minutes, and so it's 21-7. You're just underway in the second quarter, and then Cushion's kick return. Marquise Cushion's a young D-back. He's been back there. You need somebody to help offset John Brown a little bit, and what'd you see on that return?
Well, Coach Pierce coaches our kickoff return team, did a really good job and scouts them out tremendously, just does a really good job. And we knew when they put the ball on the right hash, it was going to go down the right hash. And so we lined up in our left alignment, left return, and returned it right back up into the boundary. And sometimes you want to do that, sometimes you don't. But that against them, we felt like we could get a kick-out block on their number 2 guy coming down, a kick him on their number 3 guy coming down, which would create a crease, and then we lead the other guy up through, and they just did a really nice job of blocking it. Marquise has really showed his explosion and how fast he is. down the sideline and gets it out to, I don't know, it was a 60-plus yard return, I believe.
Yeah, he went deep and took it to their 45.
So and he actually hurdles a guy and then ends up being out of bounds. And he almost stays in bounds and, maybe would have scored. But it was a really nice return and again, a great setup for our offense.
Yeah, when Western put that ball in the hash, they'd put the one extra guy on the wide side, on the field side. What's the rule? Are there new rules about you have to have so many on each side of the kicking tee?
Yeah, you have to have at least four on each side. And
so, they were going 6 and 4, I think, on that. So it worked out in that case. But from there, boy, 3 and out. Again, some early passes that don't work out, and Griffin has to punt the ball, and you do get them pinned. You're down at the 12. They have the wind at their back this time, but you end up punting the ball, and or they do, long punt, and you're pinned at your own 17, and then a fumble is recovered by them. So all of a sudden, 21 straight is one thing. Now you're getting a stretch of the game where it starts adding on in a hurry. What are you telling your guys at that point in the game?
Well, you try to. Everything was happening so fast. That's the other thing as you look at it. Coach Wiemers is not very happy with me pointing this out yesterday, but I've never seen a drive chart that looked like this one, where we had, on their side of the ball, they either punted it, which to score that many points and punt 5 times is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But they either punted it or touchdown, punt, touchdown, punt, or touchdown. That was your options for them offensively. But the amazing part about that was the longest drive of the day for them was 6 plays, only 6 plays. And, we were either all or none defensively. And, it's just, again, it's not just defense or just offense. Obviously, we all know that. It's both sides of the ball, and our whole football team just not responding, and we don't know exactly why that is, but we will get that going.
Plus 17 minutes time of possession doesn't mean a whole lot sometimes. It can be a deceiving stat. But the fumble that led to their next score and gave them a short field, Anthony and Jason together there, and that's a fine line. You work and work and work on that stuff, on the timing and the soft squeeze, and that ball just fell out right to the carpet. And how much, I don't know if it's on one or the other more.
Yeah, it's not. It's Anthony thought he gave, Anthony gave it, and Jason thought he pulled it, and that's one of those things. It's just a mesh thing that, for whatever reason. And it was, most of the time you can tell what the problem was on video. That one you couldn't tell. It was just, next thing you know, everything looked good. There really wasn't that much pressure on it. Sometimes if you get hard pressure, it'll cause that.
Right.
But there really wasn't any pressure on it. It just, ball was on the ground.
And then Anthony had some nice runs in this game. He made some nice pulls. He made some nice scrambles. The week before against Northwest, it didn't seem like he pulled it. You go back to Central Oak, who had a good defensive front. He had a good game running the ball. Where is he right now as a running quarterback?
Well, on some of the zone read stuff, he had some nice runs. He picked up. He turned a sprint out one time into a nice 11 or 12 yard game where he didn't throw it because they recovered, and he went and ran and got the first down, which is exactly what you want on sprint out. But on some of the zone reads, we're still not very clean right now, and that's a combination of a lot of different things. But there was obviously a couple times where we needed to go ahead and pull the ball, and their defensive ends did a really nice job because they're athletic and did a nice job of really mixing some things up and making the reads very hard.
They score off of that. You go 3 and out. They score again on a relatively short field and get the tight end loose. He's caught 14 balls this year, 8 of them now touchdowns. And then you get at your own 25 after a touchback, kind of 2-minute mode. You move it a little bit, end up having to punt it. They're on their own 41, great field position with 63 seconds and a half, 2 timeouts. How demoralizing is it that they run it twice and they're at your 4-yard line?
Yeah, very demoralizing. And, we can't say enough. We just got to be better against the run. And at that time, I don't know exactly what we had called at the time. I'd have to ask Coach Wiemers. But, pick up a big run on first down. And that's one of those things where they're probably not real sure, how aggressive they're going to be with the big lead that they have. So, they don't want to take any chances. So they put it on, they hand it off to see what they get, and then they get a huge run. Well, now they're right in the money. Here we go. Let's go score. So, again, the first play of that drive is the one that caused the problem.
Well, it led to another score and a 42-7 halftime deficit, a mountain to overcome there in the second half, and unfortunately not able to do that. We'll step aside, another break, have a power change coming up, and we'll be back with more from Chatters and Coach Beck, presented by CDL Electric.
Digging deeper to make ends meet? Now you can get a 30% tax credit with a geothermal heat pump system from Climate Master. Climate Master geothermal systems tap the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. Plus, Climate Master systems are incredibly efficient. If you're interested in saving up to 80% on your energy cost, call CDL Heating and Cooling for a free estimate in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Nevada. Find them fast and names and numbers.
Gorilla fans, for the best Pittsburgh State football coverage, tune in to KSN 16, your hometown sports. I'm Eric Kinnett. We'll have those highlights after every Pitt State game, and during the week, we'll have the latest news and preview the next opponent. And don't forget about the Tim Beck television show every Sunday night on KSN after the evening news. So if you love Pitt State football, check us out. KSN 16, your hometown sports with Eric Kinnett.
Here's the snap. Chevy runs deep, and the pass. Holy moly! Chevy Silverado with a big catch.
Chevy Cruz blocking the competition, and look at Silverado go.
Chevy outperforming everyone.
Chevy at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Moley Automotive.
Only Chevrolet GMC of Pittsburgh wins the game, and all fans get up to $8,000 off all remaining 2012s in stock.
Moley Chevy GMC of Pittsburgh, your four-state Chevy Buick GMC dealer. Proud supporter of Pitt State Gorilla football.
Moley Automotive, best price always.
In 1983, Dick Webb started a contract switching business at the kitchen table of his Pittsburgh home. It took one man with vision and determination who thought he could to launch an international company that is proud to call Southeast Kansas home. This vision and determination is practiced every day by the 3,000-plus team members that serve our customers and follow Watco's Customer First Foundation principles to improve customer satisfaction, improve profitability, and do all for the long term in a safe manner. Watco supports Pittsburgh community athletics and wishes the Pitt State Gorillas the best of luck.
Because your life matters, Via Christi Cancer Center in Pittsburgh is equipped with the latest treatments and the expertise needed to accurately treat all types of cancer. We realize that when we're treating cancer,
We are really treating people
who, more than anything else, want to receive the care they need while staying close to home. Via Christi Cancer Center, because your life matters.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, National Service Officers.
We've got an entire generation of men and women who have seen war. They're going to need voices.
Paralyzed Veterans of America represents them.
We're going to make sure that the Veterans Affairs gives them everything that they're entitled to.
Get all the health care they need.
Making a person's house adaptable.
And we also focus on getting them a job.
We help our veterans for free.
Changing lives, building futures. That's Paralyzed Veterans of America. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Avanoa under center, first and goal, full house backfield. The snap, give it to Tillman on a stretch play, left side, touchdown Gorillas.
860 AM, KKOW.
Welcome back live to Chatter's Restaurant and Bar in Pittsburgh. Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Eddie Lomshek with you as we roll through your 6 o'clock hour, and I promise we'll put the baby to bed as far as the Western game goes here sooner rather than later, and look forward to winning the last 3. Another gift certificate here to Fat Daddy's, $25. And Amanda David, come on down. Pitt State women's basketball coaching staff with us here tonight. They are 7 days away from an exhibition at Nebraska and try and build on the momentum of last year's school record season. So no pressure, coaches, but good group back for them. We'll look forward to basketball here soon enough. And I always kid Coach Lord, they're going to go 10-16, but we know they won't. So we're looking forward to another good year when that rolls around. Coach, 42-7, and almost the whole day summed up out of the locker room when you feel like, hey, go get a couple. You're going to have the win in the fourth quarter. That was my thought. If you're within 42-21, wind at your back, you're going to be okay. And there you are with a nice drive out of the locker room, and sure enough, third and a foot, and decide to throw it, and it gets tipped and picked, and it couldn't have summed up the day better than that.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you know, third and short, we had 2 downs because we're going to go for every fourth
sure.
and short in the second half. We had 2 downs to get it, but it was third and a foot, and thought, you know, we talked about it as a staff at the time, and, you know, these talks go really quick, but thought this might be a time to catch them off guard because maybe, you know, sometimes you throw it from that distance, third and short, and you can catch them completely off guard, and it might be a touchdown. So we thought it was the time to do it, and you know, another ball that just gets tipped. They're out of position. They're way out of position, and Brady Letchworth's wide open, and it's going to be a first down. And, you know, I don't know. Anthony just doesn't get it up enough, and they tip it, and sure enough, doesn't tip it to one of our guys, ends up tipping it to one of their guys, and so it's a drive killer.
Boy, just a kick in the gut is the way those things go, and you do that with certain personnel. Of course, Mandel and Bryston back there, and so your running game with not as effective as you mentioned there, and Bryston has had some good average per carry games. With a commitment, with a big back like that, is it a matter of maybe needing to go that route to try and establish that a little more?
Yeah, probably. You know, the carries that he got were good. The couple carries that were 1-yard carries, the one in the first half on the opening drive was not his fault. I mean, there was not anywhere for him to go, and he still gets a yard. So there's no doubt we need to try to get him the ball, and along with the rest of our backs, we just need to get him the ball more and create something.
What are the keys to Bryston being consistent?
Bryston's been consistent this year. You know, for the most part, I think you know, he's really had a good season for what he's done, and again, we just you know, we're not as good at a couple of positions, which is it's not the running backs. We're just not as good at a couple of positions up front to create some of the gashes that we have that we were able to do last year, and so we've got to get better at a couple of things, and we'll just have to continue to make a couple of adjustments here and there to be able to get some things done there.
Western gets the ball at their own 29 after the tip and the pick, punt it, and you're pinned deep at your own 13. Then you get fourth down, the low snap. Castaneda's in the end zone. BJ said on the sideline he didn't think it was a design fake. What was the situation there?
No, it was a design fake.
Okay.
And,
that's why he's not a coach.
And it was a design fake, and unfortunately, you know, you see it on video, and we'd only ran that about, let's see, 3-4 times a week for the last 7 weeks and completed every single one of them. And, you know, it was a low snap, but Andrew still got it good enough, and we've got John back in the backside flat with nobody around.
Nobody.
And, you know, he catches it there. It's going to turn into a punt return for him. He may go the distance. So it's one of those things. You take a couple chances like that when you're in a situation that we were in. You have to. If you're going to have any chance at all to get back in the game, you got to take some chances. And so felt like that was as good a time you needed to pull that out and see what we could do, and we just didn't complete it.
They had a score off of that. You go 4 and out from your own 25. They had another one, and, man, the route was on 56-7. You know, start the fourth quarter. You have a long drive. It ends up with a touchdown. And, again, you want to see your kids play hard, play the game, not the scoreboard. That's easier said than done. Human nature takes over a little bit. Western had started to sprinkle in some backups there, but a long drive. Trez Tillman gets in. How good a play is that for you on the goal line when you can lead with Mandel and Bryston and a scat back like that turning the corner?
Yeah, and they made 2 nice blocks. I mean, Western just didn't lay down. They made 2 nice blocks, and then Trez was able to hit the crease and go. So it was good to, as bad as you feel about the whole thing, at least we're able to go put one in the end zone.
Then the onside kick, and couldn't tell, even on the replay they showed from the end zone angle, the ball is screened by some players. So you guys go execute that. I couldn't tell who it hit, but you get it anyway, and need to practice those things.
Yeah, and it was a surprise onside. We didn't line up and really do our onside kick. We kind of waited to see how they were going to line up, and they went ahead and set their return team up. They didn't put their hands team out there, so we surprised it, and Connor does a good job of kicking that kick as well. It's not an easy kick because he makes it look like a full run at it, like he's going to go knock it in the end zone, and then he dribbles it 10 yards, and it hits one of their guys, and we recovered it. It was a good job.
What's the rule on that on a dribbler? Are you not supposed to be allowed to outrun the ball and hit them first?
Yeah, that's the new rule now. You're not supposed to be able to go physically hit them like you have been able to in the past, and so it makes it tough. So now you just tell your guys, we're going to dribble it down there. We're all going to go for the ball, and if we're going for the ball, we got the same right to the ball that they do. So a little bit different strategy than it's been, and so that's something that's new that's being reinforced, and it's supposed to have been that way for a long time, but they really never did enforce it that way. So, but now it's, you can't go hit them. The other thing is if the ball is drove into the ground, like a lot of times on onside, people like to hit it hard in the ground,
right.
And it'll pop up and bounce once. Well, now they're completely protected, and they can fair catch that. So you can't go hit the guy before he's getting ready to catch it either, which in the past you have. So a little bit different.
All those things and more to think about. You get Derek Harger in the game and Solomon Watkins, a couple of carries. Is Solomon a guy we could see more in the future?
Yeah, I think so. And we've played him a couple of different times in the last couple of games, and I think talking to him just again yesterday, he's much more comfortable now than he was probably 6 or 7 weeks ago, and fresher every week. I think that he's really close to being 100%, and yeah, he's another guy that probably needs to carry it more.
We'll see if that can happen for him. We'll step aside, one final break. Up to Kirksville Saturday. We'll talk about Truman State with the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL after this.
Digging deeper to make ends meet? Now you can get a 30% tax credit with a geothermal heat pump system from Climate Master. Climate Master geothermal systems tap the constant temperature of the earth to provide heating, cooling, and hot water while keeping your home comfortable all year long. Plus, Climate Master systems are incredibly efficient. If you're interested in saving up to 80% on your energy cost, call CDL Heating and Cooling for a free estimate in Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Nevada. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Gorilla fans, for the best Pittsburgh State football coverage, tune in to KSN 16, your hometown sports. I'm Eric Kinnett. We'll have those highlights after every Pitt State game, and during the week, we'll have the latest news and preview the next opponent. And don't forget about the Tim Beck television show every Sunday night on KSN after the evening news. So if you love Pitt State football, check us out. KSN 16, your hometown sports with Eric Kinnett.
Here's the snap. Chevy runs deep, and the pass. Holy moly! Chevy Silverado with a big catch.
Chevy Cruz blocking the competition, and look at Silverado go.
Chevy outperforming everyone.
Chevy at the 10, the 5, touchdown, Moley Automotive.
Moley Chevrolet GMC of Pittsburgh wins the game, and all fans get up to $8,000 off all remaining 2012s in stock.
Moley Chevy GMC of Pittsburgh, your four-state Chevy Buick GMC dealer. Proud supporter of Pitt State Gorilla Football.
Moley Automotive, best price always.
In 1983, Dick Webb started a contract switching business at the kitchen table of his Pittsburgh home. It took one man with vision and determination who thought he could to launch an international company that is proud to call Southeast Kansas home. This vision and determination is practiced every day by the 3,000-plus team members that serve our customers and follow Watco's Customer First Foundation principles to improve customer satisfaction, improve profitability, and do all for the long term in a safe manner. Watco supports Pittsburgh community athletics and wishes the Pitt State Gorillas the best of luck.
Because your life matters, Via Christi Cancer Center in Pittsburgh is equipped with the latest treatments and the expertise needed to accurately treat all types of cancer. We realize that when we're treating cancer,
We are really treating people
who, more than anything else, want to receive the care they need while staying close to home. Via Christi Cancer Center, because your life matters.
860 AM KKOW.
Welcome back live to Chatter's Restaurant and Bar here in Pittsburgh and the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. A couple of more minutes here with the coach. And Stacy Lord, come on down, wins $25 gift certificate right here to Chatter's in the House of Wings. Dine-in only, includes drinks. Expires at the end of your calendar year, so enjoy that. Your coach, your husband coach signed you up for that, so that's good. Selfless of him. I don't think he put his own in, but just for her. Good job, Coach. All right, Coach Beck, up to Kirksville. Thank goodness it's a day game and not a night game. Don't get home at 3 in the morning. But last game for the foreseeable future. Obviously, they're off to the Great Lakes Valley League and a charter member of the league. It's kind of sad to lose one of those guys, but they're hoping to be more competitive in everything. But first of all, with such a long trip, what's your routine like this week?
Well, it changes a little bit because of fall break at Pitt State, so we don't have class on Thursday and Friday. So I think because we lost last week, we'll probably have 2 days on Thursday, you know. But no, things change just a little bit as far as, we can practice at whatever time we want on Thursday, and we want our work team to stay and practice on Thursday. We don't need them on Friday because we don't use them on Friday. So all the kids that are redshirted and stuff, we'll practice at an earlier time so that they can go ahead and go home. Plus, it keeps you a little bit fresher on, especially a 1 o'clock game on Saturday. If we can practice a little bit earlier on Thursday, it gives us a chance to get our legs underneath it just a little bit more. So we use that to our advantage, and we can leave that way. We can leave whatever time we'd like to leave on Friday that way. So won't have to be rushed on the way up there. So we'll practice probably Friday morning sometime, and then drive up and have dinner, and then get up and be ready to go.
Ready to go. Truman State's a team off to a good start this year, 3-0. They have a couple of players back, in particular on defense, all-conference kids from 2 years ago that missed last year. Offensively, they haven't been great this year, but defensively, an experienced team. What do you see out of their defense?
Well, they've got 10 guys on their defense that started last year against us, and really some really good players. And they play really reckless. They play really fast and aggressive at times. They're kind of all or none. They're not afraid to blitz you, and their defensive line will be physical. They've got one defensive end that just really causes havoc for you. And so they'll get after you at times, but they're a team that started off and really looked great and won their first 3 games, and then now they've lost 4 out of their last 5. Right. So I think they're 4-4. So they're a team that has caused us some problems here the last few years for whatever reason. But they look really, really good against some people and not so good against others, and I don't know why that is. They're a little bit inconsistent. They
haven't been great running the ball. They'll throw the ball to their backs, but that said, how important for your D-line to play well and not let them run the ball?
Yeah, no doubt. We got to get off to a good start and not let them get started, and see if we can't put a couple scores on the board early. And again, they've got to be doubting themselves a little bit because of the last 4 or 5 weeks. So we got to take advantage of that. Plus, we owe them for getting out of the conference. They're the ones that screwed this whole thing up in the first place, and we've got this whole mess of a schedule, and and it's Truman's fault. That's the way I look at it.
It's everybody's fault. And how about they do have a receiver, Dallas Greer. He's among the league leaders. What kind of player is he?
He's a good player, good solid player. Watched him really close against Central, and didn't have his best game against Central Missouri that night. But he can catch the ball. He finds a way. Very, very good possession receiver. Can still go deep, but he's very good at running routes, and they have a pretty good understanding of where he's going to be, and he can catch a lot of balls in a hurry.
How about their quarterback, Shottle? What kind of player does he look to be?
He was good early on. In that Central Missouri game, he got injured and came and went out, and then but he's the guy that is their leader, and he probably has been a little bit inconsistent at times, but he can make things happen, and he can throw it around pretty good.
You go up there, it is a long trip. You're not going to have near the atmosphere you have at home games, neither some other places. There's no seating behind your bench. It can have an effect on you. You need to be good early, create your own enthusiasm. What do you tell your players in an environment like that?
Well, it's completely different. You're exactly right. It's, the closest thing that we've seen to that would probably be at Southwest Baptist, except you're right, there's nothing behind you. There was a few water balloons one time from a fraternity house about a block away a couple years ago, but other than that, you're over there by yourselves, so it's not like you're being heckled by anybody. It's just you and your teammates, and get with them, and let's get it on.
Last year, you guys tried everything possible to lose that game. That was absolutely one of the turning points in a season. If you don't win that game, who knows what it leads to, and yet that's got to be a huge deal for Truman going into this weekend. Despite their struggles, you expect them to use that as motivation?
Oh, the last 2 years, they've,
4 total points in the last 2 years.
Yeah, what they've done the last couple of years, and this is 3 out of 4 years we've had to go to Truman. So, they, for whatever reason, they really get up to play us, and a part of it, I think, is Coach Rampy and Coach Nesbitt. They're college roommates, their head coach, and man, they get fired up to play each other, and so. It'll be a battle, but we got to go out early and get some things established and get going. That's the bottom line, and we've got to bounce back, and we've got a lot to get done here the rest of this season, and it needs to start this week at Truman.
Does it feel like it can't get here soon enough, given last weekend?
We need to get on the field again. Practice needs to get here tomorrow, so we can go get some things figured out and solved, and then we need to go play.
Cardinals tonight, Game 7?
Cardinals all the way.
Kyle Lush and the Cardinals, so we'll see if that can happen. World Series begins on Wednesday. Hey, that'll do it for us. Big thanks to Amon, the staff here at Chatters. Thanks for all the good people for coming out here tonight. Pitt State football is going to be just fine. For Coach Beck, I'm Eddie Lomshek. Thanks again for being with us. CBS News is next.